So, there's a lot of in this video that I want to get through. Probably you can judge by the title. I don't know what to call it yet. It's been a while since I've posted because I lost my password and I've just not been in the best mood. So I do apologise. But yeah. So, living neat life. That's my phone again. I hate that noise. Give me a minute. I have to turn my phone notifications off. Just for a bit. There we go. Right. It's just you and me now, I guess. Except I'm reaching out to you through time and space. Doesn't matter if it's like 1 year in the future or like 1,000 years in the future. If this video survives that long, I'm still like reaching into the future, I guess. To you. Sorry, I'm being kind of cringe. Anyway, right. Life is a NEET. So, my life as a NEET first started out when I was about 18-ish. You know, I'd gotten out of college and I was like just hanging around my house, really. Eventually I did get like a small part-time job off the books, but that wasn't much. And I kind of did that on and off. And back then, I was really bad. Like, I was on R9K, and I'd been on Discord as well. Some like toxic Discords and that. Right in the middle of me, like, being super far, like, right in a way. And then I gradually tapered off of that as I matured and sorted myself out, you know. But no, some mainstays from that time were excessive 4chan usage, which is pretty normal, to be honest. I did get to the piss bottle stage, I'm sorry to say, but that happened. It's because I lived in a room that was technically, like, outside of the house. So, like, I lived in my own little, almost like, it's like when you open the door, I might draw a diagram and show you. When you open the door, it led straight outside. And I would have to go through the back door to go to the toilet. But it was basically this little cabin, almost, on the side of the house that I had. And I had a TV and an Xbox, where I spent a lot of my hours, a lot of my youth, playing Fallout New Vegas. And Dark Souls, and whichever games I can get my hands on. Yeah. What else did I do then? Let's see. I did isolate myself because that arrangement allowed me to isolate myself quite a bit. And that's been a mainstay of my habits as a NEET, even now. Sorry, I've not scripted this, so I'm just, whatever's coming to mind, I'm saying it. Right. One thing which I've always done is the pile. Like, when you've got, like, a room that you rarely leave, in my case, what I tend to do is I tend to get quite messy, because I'm always like, you know, it's like a rat's nest. I'm always moving bits and pieces around without any care, because I know where everything is. I don't need things to be organised. You know, I just kind of have a path to my computer. Even right now, I've got like one path in this room. It's my computer, my piano stool, which I use as my chair, and my bed. And that's basically all of the open floor space I have. Everything else is filled with this desk, chest of drawers, and the pile, which is in the corner of the room. When me and my brothers lived in a grade 2 listed building, I had a much bigger room. Bear in mind it was an old house, so it didn't retain heat very well. So I spent most of my time in my sleeping bag when I was in my room. But what I would do then is I'd have a pile in the middle of the room, and then I would sift through the pile for things I needed. That's basically what I would do. So I still do now. In said pile is several cardboard boxes, an old suitcase, several plastic bags and plastic tubs filled with an assortment of objects, a synthesizer, an amplifier, several bags of clothes, a guitar, a satchel. What else is there? There's a box of medical supplies and several books. Whenever I need anything, I just kind of take the pile apart, get it, and then put it back together. So I can't be bothered to get rid of some stuff, because I've gotten rid of stuff before, but then I've needed it. Do you know what I mean? So it's like a pseudo hoarding situation, which isn't good, but you know, it's just how things are. One thing about like NEET life, which tends to come up in my mind, is I've seen other people talk about this as well. Like, I remember an Osaka video I watched where he said something like, "Oh, I've been looking at like I looked out the window, and it was sunny, and then the next minute I looked out there and there was snow," something like that. And yeah, it is kind of like that. You kind of notice that time passes really quickly. You forget what day it is really easily. It's like last week I thought it was like Wednesday when it was Friday, and I was like, oh shit, you know. In my younger years, when I was in NEET, I did have a few times when I forgot what month it was. Like, I thought it was like, I don't know, this was like in May or something. It was just my birthday, and like it was May, and I spent a ton of time by myself, like reading and playing games, or you know, just doing whatever little things I was doing. And then all of a sudden it was like August, and I was like, what the fuck happened there? You know, like, how does that even happen? How does that even work? But you just kind of, I guess you dissociate, because I can't talk. My fucking voice keeps breaking and cracking all the time. But it's just kind of like that. It's always been like that. But yeah, you tend to disassociate when there is a familiar stimulus, if that makes sense. Like, if you're going through the motions of your job, 6 hours can go by and you don't really mind because you're doing the same thing every day. And that's kind of what happens if you don't introduce some novelty or engage yourself. Then time just flies by and you're like, oh shit, where did that time go? You know? That's something I've noticed. One way I've mitigated that is like, not only like meditation, like Zazen meditation, but like looking at new things, trying to like experience new things as well, as much as possible. Mostly like art and stuff, or like new music really helps as well, because when you listen to a song for the first time, 2 minutes feels like, I don't know, 5 or so, you know. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, being neat within your 4 walls and just like doing the things you like to do, and, you know, having time fly by and having your like living space. I don't know, it starts to become, and this is going to be cringe because everybody says this, but it does start to become a reflection of your psyche. Like, I've got an old camera here. It's a Super 8 camera. It's not particularly fancy. It's a Canon. I've not used it in a very long time. I've got 3 cider bottles on my chest of drawers. They're Henry Westons. And I've got like all of these little things dotted about, like colouring pencils and my notebook, which I do journal entries in. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mugs, used mugs on my other chest of drawers. I've got my small collection of anime, which isn't that much. It's like Soul Eater, Evangelion, Desert Punk, Death Note, when Marnie was there. That's basically it. I'm no like aficionado on the subject. What was I going to say? But no, like, this space, it's starting to become a reflection of my inner psyche. Like, it's disorganized, it's not ergonomic, yet it's still very customized. It's very, you know, how do you put it? Fuck. Something about Deleuze really, like, snaps at me. Like, all of the things that I desire, like, this room is, like, categorized based purely on my own desire. You know, it's like, right now, all of my like, the things I like doing, right, are sequestered away. My keyboard and my synthesizer right here are, like, covered in stuff. My keyboard is surrounded by a load of crap. You know, my laptop right now is the only thing that's clear, and my bed is also the only thing that's really clear and readily, you know, accessible. You know, like, it's almost as though, in my mind, these are the only 2 things that are important right now. Engagement with, you know, the internet, the wired, video games on my laptop or whatever, or maybe stuff I'm reading, you know, and my bed where I sleep, or, you know, I just lay there for like hours. Those are the only 2 things that are important in my life. Everything else is covered in an assortment of miscellaneous junk. I mean, some of it's important stuff, like my folder full of personal documents and stuff, but, like, you get what I mean. It's my, like, subconscious brain, I don't know if there's even a subconscious, but my brain has unintentionally tailored my space for these only these two functions. And I've only just really realised that while talking in this recording. But no, yeah, like, when I'm not in this room, right, I'm either with my family and, like, talking with them, or I'm outside going on a walk or something, like, but, like, walking and going on walks and stuff in itself is also a challenge, because, like, I have to come back here and, how do you put it, it's not nice to, like, confront the fact that, you know, you're in your best way, you know, and yeah, mental health walk around the estate, you know, and that's the thing, like, I don't mind being outside, you know, I don't mind what weather it is, because I've got, you know, a coat that protects me from the rain and keeps me warm, and I've got shoes that protect my feet, so I can just go literally wherever I want. And I don't have to worry about being cold and wet or tired, because I'm used to walking long distances. I like hiking, and so I can just come back whenever I want. The problem I have with going outside is other people, specifically, like, Normans, you know. It's like you have to deal with them at some point in the meat space, and it's like, bruh, why? You know, each and every time you're within, like, the meat space, even the term meat space itself infers some kind of, like, Dionysian element to things, which I guess is true, because when I'm walking through the streets and that, you get to a point where you know the streets and the routes you walk down so much that you almost have, like, this, like, carnal understanding of them, if that makes sense. Like, you can get to the point where you could close your eyes and just by the feeling under your feet, you know where you are. You know, you feel it in your body. Yeah, maybe even, like, the wind direction, you could understand where you are. But yeah, it has this kind of tactile Dionysian feel to it, where it's in your body and it's, like, weirdly, like, icky sometimes. And I get that around, like, you know, like I said, Normans. You have to deal with them at some point. And it's just kind of annoying sometimes, because all of a sudden you can't be yourself. You have to be, you know, how do you put it? I think I probably mentioned something like this in my last video, but it's like, if you've ever heard of the game We Happy Few, it's like that, if you really think about it. Like, you have to pretend to be, you know, a villager or something, and you have to, like, negotiate these unspoken rules and, like, customs in everyday life. You know, it's like, if I'm walking down a street and I want to walk back up that street, that looks really weird if I turn around on my heels and start walking back, you know. People have given me looks for doing that before, so I have to, like, do this whole song and dance. Sorry, I've got popping candy in my hand. I have to do this whole song and dance about changing direction. Or you look at your phone, you go, oh, I need to change direction or something. 1 minute. Anyway, so, sorry, I just came back. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, yeah, no. I remember. Things like that just piss me off. Like, and then you have to talk to these, like, Normans as well. And it's like, it's like, why? Why have I got to, like, pretend, to be one of you? It's like, I think I don't know, I'm just rambling, but like, the worst thing is when, like, because ever since I stopped smoking, right, I've been a compulsive snacker. I just munch, and like, I go to like a shop or something, and I get snacks because I don't want to smoke because, lung cancer. But yeah, I keep going to the same places, and dealing with the people there is like really awkward because they know me as that, like, I don't know how you'd put it, like, feminine dude who sounds like this, and all they get is like oat bars and crisps and milk, if that makes sense. Like, you get what I mean. I don't know. By the way, like, I don't really... Dude is, like, neutral to me. It's not a male thing. It's a neutral word, in my opinion. I'm, like... Because I mentioned this in my last video, but, like, I'm trans femme, so... I don't know. My voice isn't the most feminine, especially right now, because I'm still congested. I keep getting, like, congested and horrible. I should really, like, clear out my throat somehow. But anyway, back on topic. I have to deal with these people, and obviously it's very strange because, I just come in at random times, like early in the morning or late at night, mostly. And it's just like every time I come in, they kind of like clock me. And it's like, oh yeah, yes, I am that customer, dude, okay? I'm just going to come in here and like awkwardly get my snacks and then leave. I don't want to like make this any more awkward for me than for you. Sorry, I'm playing with a pair of nail clippers. But no, like, one thing which really irks me is like the I know that you know that I know kind of thing you get with people. It's like when I go in, they know that I'm probably like the unemployed NEET that comes in every day to get nibbles, and then leaves, and is kind of awkward and somewhat curt with them because I want to keep conversations as short as possible. And they know that I'm like unemployed and kind of a spurg lord. So and they try and like make it out that I'm normal, but they kind of just look at me weirdly, I guess. And I know that, and they know that I'm really nervous about coming in because I stammer a lot and I get really nervous around people still. And yeah, there's that thing, but you can't say it, right? Because then that's like vulnerable, which I hate because we like, how do you put it? Like, you can't be vulnerable with people. There's always this like weird social contract where everybody's just putting on a face and we're all just getting on with it. And then as soon as somebody like breaks, as soon as somebody like, shit, what is it? What is the term? Like, they lose face, kind of thing. And as soon as somebody does that, they're regarded as mentally ill, when that's not the case. Like, when I used to work at an off-license, there was like these old people that would come in who would try and talk to me for like ages at a time. And, you know, at first I didn't really understand why they wanted to talk to me so much. But then, like, eventually I figured it out. It was because they were lonely. And because they were lonely, I felt bad for having to, like, do my job and serve the next person. And so, you know, I don't know, I just end up fucking trying my best to try and make them happy while saving face, you know, because I knew that I couldn't just say, "Are you lonely?" Because that's too visceral. Do you know what I mean? And here's the thing, like, it's always a weird middle ground when you're outside. You have to be, like, open but not too open, or you have to perform well enough at polite society, I guess. But nobody wants to do it. That's the thing. Or at least that's what I assume. I don't want to have to do it, you know? I don't want to have to be that person who, you know, just operates. They don't live, they operate, I guess. I suppose that's why I like spending so much time in this room, because there's no expectations here, you know? There's no prying eyes or whatever. There's just me and what's around me. And that's okay. Like, I can experience my full emotional spectrum in this room, and nobody would judge me for it. But on the outside, if you do that, then you're regarded as mentally ill, I guess. Like, if you've ever, like, cried in public, it's a very vulnerable experience. It feels like almost like you're like emotionally naked around other people, and feels taboo when it really shouldn't be. I don't know. This is going in a weird direction, because I'm not really focusing on any point in particular. I'm just going through it in my head, like I said earlier. Yeah. The way I see, like, NEET life in general, with those things, you know, whatever things I've said, incorporated within it is searching for the words, but they're not coming. right, you know in Minecraft, right? And it's nighttime. And let's say you've built your house and now it's nighttime in Minecraft. That's what I view NEET life to be like, fundamentally. It's like, okay, I've got my house. I'm safe in my house. But I have to be uncomfortable if I want to go and get something. You know? And it's more complicated than that, of course, but that's generally how I view how I operate as a NEET. Like, the outside world is uncomfortable and sometimes even dangerous, like in a psychic sense. And the place I'm in now is like the refuge, like the safe room. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have the answers. That's the truth. I don't have any like specific take on the matter that could be considered revolutionary or cool, I guess. I'm just blah 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 blah. Ramble, ramble, ramble. What's another thing that I could say about, like, the outside, kind of meat space kind of thing? I know, like, there's also, I think I'll make this my last point, but, like, there is the juxtaposition between your autonomy in your own home and your autonomy out there. Like, in your own room, you can choose to do whatever you want, you know. But outside, you can't do whatever you want. Like, for example, like, I can dress however the fuck I want inside this room. You know, whatever makes me comfortable, I can dress like that here. But out there, it's like, if I don't have the right equipment on, I start taking psychic damage from other people. Like, I've done this before. Going to the shop in your pajamas. Always very fun. Yeah, it's not. Like, people can kind of laugh at you, and that's whatever. Or, there have been times where I've worn more femme-presenting clothing, and people have been kind of confused at me, I guess. And it's just like, dude, you've probably seen plenty of people like me. So, like, don't make this weird. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's been a while since I've been in front of the microphone, and I'm floundering a bit. I apologise. I think I'm probably going to end it here. I don't know what's going to be the, like, pictures I use. I guess I'll just come up with something.